John shaved his finally.
We are live, and we're just talking about how I can't stop touching my beard. So anyway, but that's not the topic of the show. I want to say, thank you very much, everyone, for joining us. Doesn't say live.
Now
Mine
it does.
says live. Mine says 20 seconds.
Yeah. Now it does.
Yeah, we're good. We're live.
Nope.
So yeah, Rich and I have been having a lot of fun with this. We talk every week. We talk about Am I Evil? We've been talking to some great rock stars. This week we are talking to a rock star in another world.
Okay.
She is right from the publishing world. She is a fixture in the Western Canadian speculative fiction and publishing scene. She's well known. I mean, if you talk to anyone in Western Canada, they go, "Oh yeah, we know her."
Oh please.
They probably mispronounce her name, but we're really thrilled. She's here representing Tyche Books today because that's her day job. When she's not out fighting crime and saving the world and just being a general convention superhero. But Ryah Deines, thank you so much for joining us today, and it's been a thrill.
Thanks for having me.
I shouldn't say it's been a thrill. It's only been a minute, and I've done all the talking so far.
Yeah, but
for tonight, she's not from Tyche Book, but it would be, like we said, since it's we're a metal talk, it's going to be like Queensryche Tyche Books. How's that?
Right.
Queensryche Books.
Right, with the umlaut over the Y.
Queensryche.
Right.
See, that's why you're part of the publishing people. You correct us.
Yeah, that's not my job. I don't do the editing.
She's the proofreader. Yes.
No, I don't do that. I make books look like books once the editor's done with them.
Very nice.
Okay, so we can start with that. What's your title at the book company?
Technically, I think I'm the publisher's assistant, but it's a small press, so I also call myself the Girl Friday. So, because like when the editor is mostly done with the book, she gives it to me, and I set it up and make it pretty to go to the printers. And then I also do the ebook conversions, and I'm also in charge of the audiobook side.
So are you part of the artistic team, sort of? The creative development?
Sure. We never put that much thought into it. Yeah, like there's a lot of books. Almost all our books has my name in it because I take it and turn it so it looks like that. I mean, I don't do the artwork and I don't do the cover, but I make it so that when you get a book, it looks like a book.
Okay.
If it needs to get done, I'm sure you've had your hand in it at some point on every book.
Yeah, there's a lot of books with my name in it. So I know I was at a con once and I had mentioned that, and they said, "Oh, so you can pretend you're in the books." I'm like, okay. I'm not sure what to make of that.
A little backhanded slap there, yeah. Oh, so you can imagine that you're important. I see. Yeah. Lame. Oh, well. Anyway, yeah. I know. I've been friends with. I've actually, just a disclaimer. I've been friends with Ryah for many, many years. We've known each other through the podcast world and through the literary world. We first met face to face at a Discworld convention, hanging out with our good friend Terry Pratchett. Or like that.
I got you an autographed Terry Pratchett and Neil Gaiman autograph.
That's true. I mean, I didn't want to go there, but yeah, that is a very cool story. If you want to just tell that story really quickly, I want to get into Tyche Books, and I have a million questions for you, but that is a cool story. That's one I tell a lot because I'm very proud of that. Well,
I was at the Montreal Worldcon because I was nominated for an award, a podcasting award, and Neil Gaiman was there, so they co-wrote, and I knew I was coming to the Terry Pratchett convention a few months later, so I got a couple of their books they co-wrote, which is now the one that's on Amazon. My brain's not working today.
It's Good Omens.
Good Omens. Yeah. Thank you.
Good Omens.
So I got Neil Gaiman to sign it, and then when I was in Arizona, we got Terry Pratchett to sign it.
Yeah, which is cool. And the sad part of it, Terry Pratchett, of course, suffered from Alzheimer's near the end, and I think he wasn't really up to. They apparently had this call out that they would do, which is kind of a neat thing. So, like Rich, if you and I wrote a book together, we might do a thing where I sign it with a code, and then when one of our fans brings you the book and you see that I put this code, then you do the call out
with the other code. Yeah. So Neil Gaiman signed it with the code, but unfortunately Terry Pratchett didn't do the code. He just signed it.
Right.
But it was right towards the end. It was like his last convention appearance or something like that.
Yeah. But still was a thrill to meet him. It was a thrill to meet Ryah though, for the first time. But yeah, we met through the Deadpan podcast, and we have a lot of stuff in our background. But all that. So this isn't about me, and this isn't but this is about Ryah, and this is about Tyche. So I want to kind of give you some runway and tell us all about some of your favorite books you've worked on. How about we start there instead of what's coming out? Tell us about some of your favorites that you've done.
One of my favorites, and this is actually a Jim Beveridge cover. The Free Lanes trilogy. This is book 1 of the 3.
Good setup.
Coincidentally, it's one of my favorites. Here's another Jim Beveridge coverage. I'm not going to put this as a favorite. It's good. It's very quirky. I don't know how to put it. It's good. I enjoy most of our books. There's a few that, but tastes are different. And what else is? This one is another one of my favorites right there. Grotesque. See, I came prepared.
Is that a gargoyle? Is that a gargoyle in there?
It's a grotesque. There's a difference between a gargoyle and a grotesque, but yes.
I did not know. Okay.
The short answer is yes. It's a mystery. There's murders happening, and they're related to grotesques.
I don't know that personally.
I love gargoyles, and I didn't know that there's a difference between that and what a grotesque is.
Let's see if I can remember it. One is a water spout, and one isn't.
Oh.
The gargoyles.
So that's an official term? That's not just for this book?
No, yeah, there's an official difference. I'm going to pull it up here on my computer. So hopefully I don't leave you. Am I still on you?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, gargoyles and grotesques. It says, yeah, gargoyles are decorative water spouts. Grotesques are just the statues. That's the actual difference. Most people tend to mix them up. So
I did not know that.
There, you learned something just by a book without even reading the book.
Yeah.
Right. There, I want to read it now. Oh.
Yeah.
Since the book's about grotesques, as I'm looking at the about for Tyche Books, it says you're the home of both sci-fi, fantasy, and nonfiction. So you guys focus on that kind of stuff, all creative sci-fi monsters and fantasy and Dungeons and Dragons and stuff?
Well, very little Dungeons and Dragons stuff. We try to focus on science fiction and fantasy. The grotesques is, I guess you would call it urban fantasy, because it takes place more or less in real, in today's time. But it's a murder mystery, and there's living grotesques as part of it.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. And then we have the Helix series, which is also what you would call more urban fantasy. It's about a disease affecting shapeshifters, basically. So yeah, and we have sci-fi. We actually try to focus, and it doesn't say so in our thing. I mean, we have One's Aspect to the Sun, which is sci-fi. We try, well, it's not 100%. I'd say about 70% of our focus has strong female characters in it, or are written by female authors. Okay. So we try to push that. And I'd say 80% of our catalog are Canadian. Not all of them, like the grotesques, she's actually Australian. But the other ones I just showed you are all Canadian. So
nice.
Oh no, Tantamount isn't. He's from New Zealand, I think. But
does this publishing company send these books to like the East Coast, say, where we are, like I am, New York, New Jersey area, so they're available at Barnes & Noble, or is something that's exclusive?
Yeah. No, you can. They're available through through all the, like, your East Coast probably won't stock it unless you request it, but they can. They do carry it, and they're available through all of the ebook things, including Barnes and Noble, Amazon, Kobo. And you can also request it at your libraries. Your local libraries, both print and e, should be able to get them too. So they're available everywhere in both, print, e, and the ones that have audio, like Helix and Grotesque and Tantamount all have audiobooks. So
And so what do you do for the audiobooks? What's your role? Is it you get the narrators or what?
Yeah, I do everything except narrate. Because we're a small press, we don't get like the high-end professional narrators. A lot of our books, not all of them, but a lot of them are done through university students from the drama department, because you can get them really, really cheap. And then, although Helix has done, he's a radio personality who wanted to try it, that I know, who wanted to try audiobooks. But so I approach them and I work with them, and basically I edit them. They give me the raw footage and I edit them and say, okay, you need to re-record this. And I put together, there's a few of them. The Grotesques was done, the government of Alberta had a program where once a year they would choose one book and do it. But most of the others, I do the editing and put it together. The narrator gives me the raw files and I say, okay, no, do this again. This is pronounced wrong. And I create the audiobooks. I sit there and listen to them like 16 times. And you can...
Cool. Yeah. And so, our last week we talked to Jimmy Kay out of Montreal. So we have 2 Canadians in a row on our live stream here. So tell us a little bit about the Canadian world of publishing and science fiction, fantasy, and fandom and all that stuff. Because I know you have some pretty big conventions in Calgary. And
we do. And that's actually how I met Jim and Derek, was through the local Canadian convention. At the time, it doesn't exist anymore. The local Canadian convention here in Calgary. The publishing scene is in flux. It really is. We've had a lot of major publishers not survive the COVID, because even I can tell you, for whatever reason, you'd think people would read more during this time when they're at home. Opposite direction. We're not Canadian industry. We're all people, so it's in flux. There's been a few. A few scandals, I guess, in the industry, and then a few haven't survived. So there aren't as many as there used to be.
Gotcha.
I mean, all the big U.S. ones have their Canadian components. Your DAW and your, but for small press, there's actually fewer of us than there were. And it's really hard to survive. Most of our sales are actually ebooks. I'd say 75% of our sales are ebooks.
Interesting. Was it that way pre-COVID?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And what's really weird is paper, like, despite the 34% exchange rate, we actually get our books printed in the US and shipped to us, because it's cheaper even to do that than to get them printed here, unless you want to do like a 3,000 print run.
Oh, so I don't understand that part of the dynamics, but I would have thought it would be cheaper in Canada. This is one of the Canadian stereotypes: big log trucks going back and forth. So I would think.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they're all going to the States. I don't.
It's
small press. It's fun. It's like one of the best jobs I've had. But it's a small press. You're not going to anywhere near compete against the Penguins, the DAWs,
Well, sure. Yeah, I would assume that that's not even the goal, right? The goal is the goals
No.
are different. We talk to people from small record labels, and they say kind of the same thing. Like they're not trying to be
Yeah.
Warner; they're just trying to do work with projects they love, with artists they love. I don't know. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but that's the impression I get.
That's exactly it. Yeah, and I know, like for Dragon Moon Press, which I don't even know if they still exist. I haven't seen them in years. And a few of the people are hoping to be the same. They're jump offs, because that's where Scott Sigler got his start, was at Dragon Moon,
Right.
and it was a jump off to be something bigger, and that's where we tend to be. We actually did have one author that, about the time I joined Tyche, jumped off to something bigger. So,
Gotcha.
So that tends to be where we are. Is we give them, because there's so many authors in such a little pool. You start little and hope someone will get your eye, because we can't give the $40,000-$50,000 advances that the big places can, obviously. So.
All right, and I wanted to add one more thing I wanted to ask about Tyche. We would want to get into music, and again, some of our mutual friends. We want to talk. We need to talk about them behind their back since they're not here. But before, so tell us a little bit about some of the exciting books that Tyche has coming out. Go ahead and
we have,
and pimp.
Because I don't actually have them. I have to do it. I put the covers on my iPad. So this one's actually coming out. Can you see it on my iPad, or is it too glary?
No, I can see it now.
Air. Yeah.
Air. We do a elemental anthology series, and this is book 3. We have Fire and Earth. This one's coming out next week. We're doing for the virtual local convention here, is going virtually this year, but they're having the virtual launch on the 18th of this month for Air. If people want to join, you have to sign up, because it's over Zoom, and Zoom only allows 100 people. Apparently, the editor Rhonda is hosting that one. So we have that virtual book launch for Air coming up on August 18th, 7 to 9:30. If you go to our website, tychebooks.com, it's
cool.
The information will all be there. We just had this one come out. Where is it? And people like the idea.
That's right.
So it's it's an anthology of
cat adventure stories. Yeah.
And that one's been pretty well received. What else is coming out?
I gotta say, also, I've talked to Rhonda Parrish before. She seems like a really good person. Like, really,
You've talked to Rhonda?
Yeah, not like this. We haven't had her on, but yeah, I've exchanged emails with her. She seems like a good one.
Really? God, that's a small world, because Tim as well, who actually, I have Tim's book here, because he's published a book through us too, that you know.
Okay. Yeah, Tim Reynolds, he's also a good guy. He published me 400 years ago.
This one's coming out next week too. It's book 3 in a trilogy.
Sailors and Spies.
Yeah, it's fantasy.
I was gonna say, I'm sensing a theme here.
And then the last one coming out, not that one, but it's not coming out till next month. Again, it's this year's been all this month is all fantasy, obviously, and all female.
Nice
authors.
We should have tagged all these authors. Rhonda Parrish, Rebecca Bray. We should have tagged all these people, but we will. We'll tag them. We'll post this.
And Jane Glatt was the other one I showed you.
There you go.
She's from Ontario. Rhonda is from Edmonton, and I don't know where Rebecca is from. I'll have to look her up. But yeah, so again, female. We tend to lean towards, if not female authors, then female protagonists. I mean, obviously, Tim's not female.
Yeah, last time I checked, he wasn't. Yeah.
But and the two Jim titles, like this one isn't female either. Kevin Cock, obviously, but that's Jim Beveridge's, and the Tantamount Jim Beveridge, done by Thomas Radford. Thomas is obviously not female either.
All right. Yeah, you'll send me all these names, and when we repost this, we'll tag everybody. But yeah, so let's
I actually
Pardon
just
me?
shared the link. I just actually shared the link to the page for the
Yeah,
Air
just-
book on your page, Jack.
Oh, nice. Okay, cool.
yeah, and if you go into the news, it tells you about the on
Yep.
our webpage. It tells you about the upcoming.
Right, the virtual book launch. Yep.
Yeah,
All right, cool.
so that's
Well,
all there. Yeah.
and
Oh,
so
I do the website too.
oh yeah, oh that's right.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's right.
too. It's a
Oh.
small company, so everybody does a bit of everything.
You got a lot of
Yeah.
books though. That's small.
We put out about 8 or 9 a year.
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh.
we have a lot of books because we've been in business a long time.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well,
Yeah.
Oh, I hear us.
I hear us.
Yeah, I hear
Yeah.
us talking. Yeah, I'll give.
I had a
Yeah.
question.
Yeah.
2 questions.
Yeah, I was gonna say, go ahead, Rich.
What's the biggest title that you guys have sold or released or gotten attention for? And has anything turned?
Two biggest
it's 2 parts,
titles,
actually.
and
Go
I
ahead.
didn't actually bring them out. Ha! Silly me. I should have brought them up. What Kings Ate by Krista Ball is our biggest title. It's a nonfiction one, and it's about what Kings Ate. And she has a sequel called Hustlers, Harlots, and Heroes that is basically about the think about not Mr. Darcy, but the people, his servants. So it's about real life.
Oh, okay. So no
she's-
fantasy in that one. That's
No,
more
they're both
historical?
nonfiction. Those are
Oh,
both
I see.
nonfiction.
Okay.
A lot of authors will buy them as writer's guides. She's got a degree in history. I want to say degree in history. Our second biggest author is Jane Glatt, not the series I showed. Where did it go? Oh, right. She's got the new book coming out. But both of her other series, she has the Mage Guild series, which I like to call the Un series because it's ungilded, magic, and unmage. So I call and then the she has a duology, and those are really big sellers. For people really love those ones. And those are our biggest sellers.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Any of your titles ever became a movie, either small scale, big scale?
Well, Spawning Ground has a screenplay for it. I know that much. And The Grotesques actually was in talks. I think it was in Netflix talks. I don't know. That was a year or so ago. I don't know what's become of it. But yeah, that's the closest we've come.
Cool.
So yeah. But if I go,
Wow. Yeah, that'd be cool to see it make its way to Netflix. Hopefully, they wouldn't say it's too close to gargoyles.
yeah, I don't know. Yeah, so there's What Kings Ate, which is a big seller.
Oh, okay. I like the wine glass. It's nice.
And that one's nonfiction. And then yeah, Jane Glatt's, any of Jane Glatt's stuff, and she writes trilogies and duologies. But there's that's one of our best sellers is the Mage Guild series. And
nice.
then if you want science fiction, our next bestseller, and I've got that one here, is One's Aspect. They would be third, I think.
Okay. Yeah, that one I know you've talked up. I know that's
It's
a
one
big
of
one.
my favorites. And then the Marie Jenner mysteries have won so many awards. It's not funny, but they're not top sellers for whatever reason. So yeah, publishing is a funny thing because you have the Marie Jenner mysteries. There's the first one. There's 2 covers, but I'll show that one.
That's Seeing the Light.
Yeah, and like she's won the fourth in the series. I think it's fourth, has won the Bonnie Blythe for Light Mystery, which is a mystery award. She's been nominated and won so many awards for each of her books, and they're good sellers. Don't get me wrong; they're not bad sellers. They're really good sellers. They're just not number one.
Mm.
Understood. Yeah, I understand. When it wins an award, you think, "Oh, all right, this is gonna be a huge jump," and sometimes I get it. Well, yeah, it's cool.
And actually, if you sign up for our newsletter on our webpage, you'll get that Seeing the Light as a free ebook. If you sign up for our newsletter.
There you go. And that's at Tyche. Is it TycheBooks.com? You can
TycheBooks.com.
TycheBooks.com. Okay. Cool. All right, Rich, what else you got, Rich? You have any other questions?
Not off the top of my head right now. Those are two of the major ones I was curious about. What do you got?
Well, I mean, I was going to switch gears a little bit. I was going to. Sure, we want to talk crap about. Hey, Ryan Hall says howdy.
Hey,
Ryan Hall is speaking of Canadian musicians. Yeah, Ryan Hall is a great electronic musician out of.
Yeah, he's been nominated for a couple of awards too.
Oh. But yeah, so yeah, we're like I said, we're going to talk, and I say talk crap affectionately. I don't really mean we're going to talk crap. We're going to talk crap about Derek Ma and James F. Beveridge because they're mutual friends of ours. But let's since this is the Metal Asylum live stream, let's talk a little bit about I know that Ryah and I were friends for a while before I even knew that Ryah and her husband listened to a lot of the same stuff that Rich and I do. So there's I know
Jack because he's actually him and my husband. They don't look alike, but they're so much alike. It's crazy. It's just insane. Like. Including that they're both left-handed. They both play guitar, except John plays guitar right-handed. They both, it's just crazy.
He's a little bit better at guitar than I am, though, over the years. My practice has slacked off, and it seems like he's become like this virtuoso.
John hasn't played at all since lockdown. You'd think it would be again more, but he hasn't played at all, I think.
But I'll rattle off, and Rich, you can jump in with some bands too. Obviously we already joked about Queensryche, but I know that we've talked about Joe Satriani is one that I know that we've had mutual a love for over the years. I think
that's because there's a picture of John. He looks identical to Joe Satriani.
Yeah,
I was telling Rich about that picture. Yeah, John, her husband, shaved his head and is posing with the same guitar from Crystal Planet. So yeah, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, that's because John has 10 million guitars.
Says the spouse. But but I think I know. And correct me if I'm wrong. Again, I don't want to put words in your mouth. But I think you've had a love for some of the nerdier metal over the years, like the stuff that goes into like Viking metal and the fantasy metal, and like we talked about. Was it Windrose, the dwarven metal? So I know that you've had.
John's been playing that. I think he's been doing it to. I mean, I like their music. I like some of their other stuff because they do the fantasy Tolkien-esque type music, but that stupid diggy hole is now an earworm that I haven't been able to get rid of.
But can you rattle off some other bands that maybe I didn't mention? They don't have to be metal, but obviously since we're metal guys,
metal is very fluid too. Like what we called metal back, because I'm about 10 years older than you, I think, Jack. Back when we were younger isn't anymore, and stuff, for example, Def Leppard, I wouldn't call metal anymore, but it probably was when it started.
Yeah,
they used to be. Then they stopped being. Yeah, they used to be, and then they stopped being metal. Then they just turned into like a pop band.
Bands that I would never considered metal were called, like hair metal, like Van Halen, which I would have never considered metal anyways, but they're hair metal, the California hair metal band.
Terrible derogatory term for those bands.
Yeah, well, I know, but it's just what it is. I mean, I was more Metallica and Megadeth, and then Iron Maiden, go West Ham United. Those that know, they'll understand.
Yeah, Steve Harris being a huge supporter of that football team.
Yeah.
Football club. I want to speak right jargon.
Don't get me started in football because John's huge Liverpool. I used to be Tottenham, but I don't like Marino, their new manager. So I'm going to go back to Liverpool with John. That's a different conversation. That's
Yeah, see this I did not know. I did not. I can't really hang with the European football talk. You know, so
Oh, really?
soccer for those of us here in the
Yes.
state. But yeah, but no, I didn't know that you guys were big into that. That's
Oh
kinda
yeah, and Liverpool just won the BPL. So and that Liverpool's John's team. He's got the T-shirts and the scarves and the whole works. And it was fun when I was with like Tottenham because then you could do a rivalry. But like I said, Tottenham's new manager is an ass, so I don't like him. So I can't. So and Klopp Liverpool's manager is nice. I really like Klopp, so I'm okay with being Liverpool. Poor Rich is just going, "What the hell are you talking about?"
But Rich, why don't you throw
those
some?
that know will be fine with it.
Well, like I said, I mean, the Steve Harris connection is there. I think we did it at Metal Asylum. We talked about how he was supporting the football the jerseys for his soccer team. Yeah.
Well, I think he's got. Doesn't he put the logo on his bass? He plays bass, right? Yeah.
Yeah, he's the bassist. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he has their logo on his bass quite often.
Yeah, he may. Yeah, I know.
Win.
I know of his fandom. Yeah, that's true. You out anecdoted us on an Iron Maiden anecdote, but yeah, I mean, so I mean, maybe you can throw out some bands that we might all have in common that are that can.
Asking Alexandra, I like them.
No comment.
Oh, okay. You seem to say that about my music beforehand. We were talking, and he's like, "Nope, I don't want to talk about that band. Nope, we won't discuss that one."
It's not going to hear what I have to say about them, but
yeah, I say, like what you like, and everyone else can go to hell. I mean, like what you like. That's all good. We're not all going to like the same stuff. But yeah, and we do. Rich and I do like a lot of stuff that gets into that. Like Blind Guardian is one that Rich and I love, and they have a huge Tolkien and fantasy connection to.
We have a few of their albums too, or well, actually, we have CDs before we went digital. We have a few of their CDs. So there you go.
Oh, there you go. Rich, I don't know if you want to throw out anything else or
Amon Roth. Amon Roth.
Amon Amarth, or
yeah, that's right. Amon Amarth.
Yeah, they're good bands. I mean,
that's Viking death. That's death metal though. Viking death.
Yeah, yeah. John, see, I don't like the real growly metal. Yes.
Yeah, it takes getting used to. Depends on.
But John's okay with some of it, so I get a lot of it through him.
Yeah. And it works well. Yeah, I mean, too much of it is too much. I think for most, sure, there are people out there who can't get enough, but I think for, most people like it when it's used well. I think Amon Amarth are a good band. They use it well. Then they have, again, good lyrics. I like a cool image and cool storytelling in their songs for sure. I have lots of respect for them. But Rich, I don't know. I'm throwing it to you. Who else can you think of that you like? I know there's Dragon Force, but I know you don't like Dragon Force. I know that we're split on like Glory Hammer, but they're bands that you and I actually like.
God awful. Dragon Force are the reason for why power metal gets the stigma that it gets.
Oh, is that right? I don't know if I've heard any Dragon Force. We've also been listening.
You're not missing anything. If you want to listen to Dragon Force, listen to Stradivarius and Gamma Ray, and then you'll never listen to Dragon Force again.
I've heard Stradivarius. I have heard.
Well, that's who they're ripping off. So
yeah, Stradivarius is great.
And just playing it at a ridiculous speed. So
I had a list, and now I can't find it because I have way too many pieces of paper on my desk. Who else do I like? Okay, we weren't going to discuss those.
You can go ahead, bring a.
There's more bands that are part of those.
No, we've been going down a Napalm Records.
Napalm's got a lot of bands. Yeah, bands.
Yeah, they're one of the biggest labels. They have a lot of great acts, and of course a lot of big names.
Their videos are just amazing.
Yeah.
I posted one. I think I posted one to you guys. What's the name of the video? Anyways, yeah, the videos that Napalm record bands put out are just amazing.
Who are the bands that you've recently discovered? Do you know any names off the top of your head?
Off the top of my head.
I'm going to their website so I could throw a couple names out at you.
Well, I posted one to Jack the other day.
Well, Windrose is the one I was thinking of.
No, not that one.
Not the dwarves.
Would it be Ailstorm? the pirate metal band? The Poor Man's Running Wild, as I call them?
No, Verschwanz?
Oh, that's right. I think it's Führerschwanz, right? They're the German band.
Yeah.
Oh, I've never heard of them.
Really? They're quite
yet.
good.
Not yet.
I like their stuff. I
see a dragon and soldiers and knights on the cover, so I'm assuming it's some kind of power metal or death metal, maybe?
Maybe power metal. They brought in on the song Ding, they brought in a British singer. They do a lot of covers. They did a cover of oh man, my brain's not working today. And I'll think about it. Anyways,
I think they're a little closer to Ailstorm and Hailstorm. They're kind of more comedic.
But they brought in Melissa Bonney, who is
that's right,
a British singer. So they're singing in German or whatever, and then when she comes in, she's singing in English. So it's interesting.
Yeah, her stars.
Trying to figure. I think they're German. It looks like the way the spelling and the words.
Yeah.
Yeah, and by the name of the band, that's a clue.
Yeah, and all their songs are in German too.
Yeah, and but I like their stuff. I actually do like their stuff. It's pretty good.
How about there's two on here that I listen to. Gravedigger. Their new album on Napalm.
I don't know if I've heard them. Maybe.
Yeah, I think you might like them.
What about Powerwolf?
Yes, I've heard of Powerwolf. Yes.
Okay.
Gravedigger. They look familiar. John might have.
They've been around for 30, 40 years almost.
Yeah.
They've been around. Yeah, their sound is still very traditional heavy metal.
Yeah.
One of the
power metal.
Let me put that down, and I'll have to listen to them afterwards.
Who else? Oh, Camelot. They put out the new Camelot live DVD. That's really cool.
Yes, we have some of Camelot stuff. We actually do have some of Camelot stuff.
Yeah.
So
and you might. I mean, we were joking about Dragon Force. Dragon Force are absolutely respectable talent. They play very fast and they play a lot of notes and they have a lot of talent. Like I said, I'm not here to trash anybody. If you out there like them, then more power to you.
I don't think I've seen them, so I'll have to take a look at them too, and then I'll let you know.
But like Rich, I would recommend other bands in that genre before. Exactly. I'd recommend many. Yeah.
The only reason why, I'm going to be honest, because that's how I am, a straight shooter. The only reason why it's big is because they got that song on that video game.
Which video game? See my chair? I'm a big gamer.
I don't know, some video game from 10 years ago or so, and it was Through the Fire and the Flames, I think the song was. But
were they in
anyone who makes a reference to power metal, they go right to Dragon Force, and they don't realize that there's Stradivarius and Gamma Ray for their existence, and they do what they do 10 times better. So.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm looking at Dragon Force video game.
I thought was it a Guitar Hero or was it one of those games or was it like
Yes, it was one of the most
challenging
songs. It was one of the most challenging songs to play in Guitar Hero.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, I played not Guitar Hero, Rock Band. I've done the Rock Band thing, but I'm mostly a PC gamer, so we don't do much of that stuff. I know I'm a snob.
It's all good.
Whatever. I'm a power snob. That's why I'm telling you to listen to Gamma Ray and Stradivarius and not Dragon Force.
I've definitely done Stradivarius.
Yeah.
I might have done Gamma Ray. I'm writing these down, but I'd have to. There's so many that I don't even remember. Quite often,
Right.
what I'll do is I'll just put on the Amazon Metal streaming.
Mhm.
So I'll go, okay, I like that, but then I'd have to get out of my work to find out what exactly is.
Sure.
And I like it because they'll put the lyrics up too. So
It's being journalists, it's very hard to keep up with what's coming out.
yeah, and I'm just a casual listener. I'll put it on in the background when I'm working.
Mhm.
So,
But now I guess I want to. We're getting near the end of our time, and this has been great. But I want to. There is a lot of, including our project. There's a lot of crossover. I think
yes.
you find. I think creative people are drawn to the same kind of thing. So you see a lot of music and books crossover. I don't know if that has come through Tyche yet, or if that's something that maybe come in the future. But I mean, there certainly is a lot of that there. But yeah, so let's talk a little bit of crap about our mutual friends. I have tons of respect for these two gentlemen who Ryah introduced me to, and I can tell the story. If you want, I can tell the quick story, Ryah, and then you can
whichever one.
Okay.
Are either one of them watching right now? Do you know?
I don't know if you guys are watching, then please chime in and say hi. But
Hi.
yeah, so
Why didn't you join in? We asked you to.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, but yeah, so basically, when we got the ball rolling on the Am I Evil project, I know that I had a lot of connections. I knew I was going to get some great artists, but Ryah was one of the first people that I went to and said, "Hey, look, I'm going to be bringing some artists on board for the project. So you have anyone to recommend?" And she recommended Derek Ma and James F. Beveridge, two Canadian artists.
You didn't actually give me details. You said, "I'm working on a graphic novel. Who would you suggest?" And I first suggested Derek because I was pretty sure he had graphic novel
He
experience.
does, yeah.
And then he tells me what the project is for, and I went, "Oh, well, when you think metal, you think Jim." So then I added Jim.
Yeah, and both of them have done amazing artwork already for the project and it's for the Am I Evil project, based on the classic Diamond Head song, the classic Metallica song, Am I Evil, the story of my mother was a witch, and I'm basically going to slaughter everyone who murdered her. That's the song in a nutshell. But yeah, so we're doing that story, and so Ryah, like I said, she really introduced me to those guys, and again, they're really fantastic guys. I do hope we can get Jim and Derek on. We also, by the way, I don't want to shortchange Cheyenne Wright and Richard Clark, who are also artists on our project. But Ryah didn't introduce me to them. Ryah introduced me to Derek Ma and James F. Beveridge, and we want to have them on because when circumstances allow.
Has been nominated for an award for his latest Tyche title.
Oh, nice. He's won a bunch of Aurora Awards, I know.
He's won Aurora Awards, and right now he has been nominated for the third in the Tantamount series. And I'll just pull up the book here. Just give me half a second.
Jack, while she's looking, which of the artists were involved in the video that you edited together?
That was Cheyenne Wright. Cheyenne Wright did the Am I Evil promo video, which if you haven't seen it, you need to go out and check it out. But
I just shared it to our discussion here.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah,
and
so
then
he's been nominated for that cover.
I don't think oh no, I have seen that one. Yes, that is a great cover. We actually posted that at the Am I Evil. Yeah.
The award ceremony is actually next week. So.
Oh well, fingers crossed for James to win. I mean, I'm sure.
Yeah. It's the they call it the Aurora Awards. It's the Canadian Hugos.
Right. Yeah, I know he's won a few times. I know Derek has won some stuff too, and he was involved with the book Sharkosaurus. He was involved with the Sherlock Holmes series, and again, both of them are great guys. Even if the whole thing were to blow up tomorrow, if I were to walk outside and get hit by a meteor, I'd be like, I'd have other things in my mind in the last seconds, or whatever, meteorite, fireball from the sky. I wouldn't be thinking of those two guys. No offense, guys. I'd be thinking of other things. But if I had time, I would think, well, it's good that I know these guys. That was a really long. That was a long way around.
Yeah, in theory, cool you'd be thinking about your wife and kid first, but
yeah, I'd be thinking about my family and lots of things first, and my Live After Death vinyl albums. But But seriously, they're fantastic. And so I don't know if you have any stories. Like I said, we're not here. I jokingly say we're going to talk crap about them behind their backs since they couldn't join us. But if you have any good stories about them on the con scene or
there's
anything.
this one story with Derek, and I don't know why I remember it, but it was when Vin Diesel was really fairly early in his career. There was this rumor going around that he was gay, which was fine. And Derek and John and I were talking at a con about whether the two of them would still go with him on his boat regardless, because hey, it's Vin Diesel. Because we're all heterosexual. It's not that there's a problem, but yeah.
Right. No, I understand. No, I understand. You're not talking about homophobia. You're just, know, this is also
and
many
years. I think they both agreed that, yeah, they would still join.
Okay.
It's Vin Diesel. For whatever reason, this conversation, like it's a passing conversation. It should not be remembered really, but
well, you could play D&D with Vin Diesel too. He's a big nerd. He plays D&D.
We play D&D now still, so that's one thing you can do with a group online is still D&D. So yeah, I'm a big gamer of all types: tabletop, video, D&D. I do it all.
Yeah. I mean, Ray has introduced me to a lot of fun tabletop games too. And yeah, I mean, and we were in a Star Wars role playing group. I mean, yeah, we've done all the nerdy things. I think we've hit most of the check boxes, right? We've been to conventions, right. We've done most of it.
Are you a Godzilla fan?
In passing, I don't go out of my way for it, but I like Godzilla.
They just put a good Monopoly game out for Godzilla.
I'm not a Monopoly fan. So I'm not a Monopoly fan.
Oh yeah, I hate Monopoly, but
I really wasn't either. I saw the game. I wasn't either, but then when I saw the game and I saw the monsters that they threw in there, I was like, "Oh, this is pretty cool." So I got it.
Well, if you get like King of Tokyo or King of New York, they have, the Gaiju monsters in them. Yeah.
Actually, I think you got it for my family as a Secret Santa or something. You got us King of Tokyo. But yeah, well, that's one that we really enjoy. My little one really loves it. And by the way, Rich, I don't think that's it. But so I feel like Godzilla has the potential to be a little scary, for a 2-year-old. Maybe not, but I mean, I feel like
definitely.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't want to take this, but I did show her one of the worst movies ever made. But I showed her the scene in Son of Godzilla where Godzilla is teaching Godzooks. Godzooks is blowing smoke rings, and Godzilla.
But that's perfect for a 2-year-old, though.
Yes. Don't even go to the fights with the giant praying mantises, and it's such an awful movie. But yeah, I mean, and she's actually will say to me, "We watch Godzilla," and so that's what I'll show her.
It's a perfect starter movie for a kid to get introduced to Godzilla.
Right.
But part of Godzilla's fun is how bad it is. I mean, you can't, and if you watch him over the years, how he's changed and how his narrative has changed from, being the fighter because, hey, you're screwing up the world, to almost being the protector. And
more often than not, he's the protector than all the other times.
When he started, he wasn't.
No, when he started, first 3 or 4 movies, he was not.
Yeah, and he was actually also a testimonial to the nuclear age, because Japan went through all of that. Only 20 years before the Godzilla movies came out.
It was even less than 10 years before that. That they were.
So it was really. So of course, there's this monster created by, the nuclear age, and would come out and attack you. And then as time changed, I think it's Mothra with the little twins.
Yes. Yeah. I was just going to say, I remember being a kid and being very disappointed that Mothra won, because I just, as a kid, I didn't even recognize. I just thought Godzilla was always a hero. I didn't really realize that at the Mothra stage, he was still the destroyer.
Yeah. And then he became more of a protector.
And how is a giant moth going to beat a fire-breathing dinosaur? I mean, come on.
That too. I had the same issue with the original King Kong versus Godzilla.
Well, in the King Kong movie, as opposed to King Kong versus Godzilla. But the original King Kong movie, he just, I guess it was a T-Rex. It wasn't Godzilla, was it? Never mind.
I thought it was giant
Right.
snakes in the 1933 King Kong, right?
That too.
Or
There
was he fighting-
was a snake. There was a snake, a pteranodon, and a tyrannosaur. I think.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's been several remakes of that one too. So keeping them.
Yeah. Yeah, they have. But yeah, so that'll be fun. I am looking for. I'm shocked. I thought the latest Godzilla King of all monsters, I thought was excellent, and I'm shocked when people say, "Oh, it was stupid." Think like, what do you want?
Yeah,
Out of
Stupid.
yeah, it was enjoyable.
It
yeah.
was enjoyable. I liked it better than the Matthew Broderick one, to be honest.
That's not a Godzilla movie. Let's not talk about that.
Okay.
I actually saw Riff Tracks. I went to see it in the theater. Riff Tracks riffing that movie because it's such a terrible movie. It's worthy of Riff Tracks' Mystery Science Theater 3000, and it's absolutely worthy of that treatment because it's such a disaster.
I don't
Speaking
know.
of this kind of stuff, go ahead.
I was just saying because we recently saw the second one of the new Godzilla because they came out with a second one with the girl from the Netflix show.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I meant was good. Yeah, the girl from Stranger Things. I think it was really good.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, because I think that one wasn't because that was the second of the two. There was one that came out, and then she was in the second one. And I think I preferred the first over the second, like in most things. But
the first one I thought was a decent movie, but you as Rich has lamented to me many times in conference talking about it, you get almost no Godzilla on screen. He's on screen for what 7 minutes? We said, is it
Something like that, some ridiculous time, and
I don't
and the
think
screen
a lot of time in the second one either.
a little bit more, but the screen time when they're on the monsters, it's seconds long, and then they cut away to something else. That's the problem.
Yeah, the battles in the newer one with what's her name from Stranger Things. I thought they were really good. But Rich, you had a gaiju thing, or
A what?
was it you had a gaiju thing to bring up? Am I using that's the right word? Right, kaiju. I should say.
No,
Yes.
I was mentioning the game because you're talking about gaming, so that's why I threw out the Monopoly one.
Oh yeah. I would try King of Tokyo. It's a quicker and it's not as killer as Monopoly.
Okay.
It's like kaiju Yahtzee. I hear King of New York is better. I've never played it.
I've played King of New York. I like it. It depends upon what you're in the mood for. King of Tokyo is definitely quicker. King of
Okay.
New York, there's more to deal with, and you're actually destroying the city. There's rubble that comes and tanks that attack and stuff. So
Oh, that
it's a little
sounds fun.
more involved. So it depends upon what you're in the mood for. I like them both, but it depends upon, A, who I'm playing with, and B, what kind of mood I'm in. Do I want quick and light, which is King of Tokyo, or still quick and light, but not as quick and light, which is King of New York?
All right. Well, so I don't want to have the last word, but I want to say thank you very much, Ryah, for coming on and talking to us about Tyche Books, about science fiction, music, Canadian.
Do we have to say anything about Am I Evil going forward before we go? I know the what's the format coming up in September in a month?
Yeah, so I'll say that really quickly, and then I'll shut up and kind of let you guys take us out. But yeah, so Am I Evil? If you don't know, if you've watched this far, you probably know. But I'll say it anyway. Am I Evil? The classic Metallica song, classic Diamond Head song. It was a Diamond Head original. We were creating a graphic novel based on the story in the song, and we're going to do it for sure. Whatever our budget is, but we're trying to get a budget to make something really amazing and excellent. And so we're going to Indiegogo in September. September 9th is when the campaign launches, and all of you, whatever support you can give. Ryah has been a fantastic supporter, and I can't not just giving artists, but also spreading the word and just being a supporter, and it's been fantastic. But yeah, so we're
formats too. We're looking at the digital comic format or possible some kind of print.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the budget's going to determine all of that. So if you want to hold this thing in your hands, obviously digital is going to be cheaper. So if we raise 24 cents, then we're going to make 24-cent digital comic. But if we can raise a significant amount, then we're going to make something that's worthy. You know, we want to make something that really is truly worthy of. You know, Brian Tatler's just been amazing supporter. He's he's guy's a legend. So we want to do justice to the original song and the original material and just its legacy. It's, you know, the song's been out there forever. So yeah, September 9th, there's going to be lots. August is already underway. We're already a week into August, but we have a lot of exciting stuff coming out in August, just about, you know, centered around. So a lot of surprises, a lot of cool stuff coming out. And we have some appearances. You know, I'm making podcast appearances here and there. We'll promote those. And the Am I Evil, the graphic novel Facebook page, that's primarily where we're doing our promotion, but we do have other stuff. We have Instagram, we have a website. And of course, you just follow me. If you can like the page on Facebook, that would be awesome. You know, we try to make it interesting. We try to put other content there too. So you're not just getting constant bombardment of ads and hey, you know, support our book. Hey, support our book. We want you to go there. This will be on there. This will be on there, yes. And you know, other than me rambling right now, you know, this is a fun thing that has nothing to do with the comic. So come and hang out with us on the Am I Evil graphic novel Facebook page, and that's it. You guys, Ryah, thanks again. You guys take us on out.
What do you have to? What do you like to aside from the stuff you were telling us you got going on in August? Anything else you want to plug while we're on here?
I don't think so. We have a website. We have a Facebook page too, Tyche Books. We're on the Instas and the Twits and all that too. So, you know, come and like us too. Find out any promotions we have going on.
I think I'm going to go to my local Barnes & Noble and try and find that Grotesque book because I'm a Gargoyles fan. Yeah.
They might have to order it in because, you know, being press, places don't carry it, but they can order it in. We're through all the major distributors. So.
Okay. So, yeah, if I get a hand on it in one of our future talks, I'll make sure I give it a plug.
Cool. Yeah. Oh, nice. All right. And we know, and I lied. I will say also this thing that we're doing is actually starting to grow. We're getting, you know, we're doing this week to week. So thanks for being part of this, Ryah. And, you know, we have, and, you know, there might be some weeks where it's just Rich and me, which is also fine. But, you know, Rich and I can talk a lot. We'll talk about Evil, we'll talk metal, we'll talk monsters. But we have some really exciting guests kind of, you know, in the wings for future weeks too. No one's going to match Ryah, but, you know, we have some excellent. We've had some big names on too, including Ryah. You know, we've had, you know, Mike LaPond is a big deal, and Jimmy Kay, you know, Alan Tecchio, you know, Jack Frost. We've done all right already. So this is going to get more and more fun, and it is just for fun. This is not our official like, hey, you know, we don't have graphics and banners and crap. It's just us just talking, but it's fun.
Not yet. I do have my fancy glass case behind me, which does have grotesques in it, not gargoyles.
That's right.
So there. I don't know if you can see them, but there are grotesques in here.
I can see one in the top corner there, or in the top middle, or is that a dragon?
There's one right there. There's a dragon here. There's little grotesques in there, but I got them.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right. Well, thanks everyone. Thank you, Ryah, again. Thanks so much. Thank you, Tyche Books, by the way, and thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
I have.